Think running a day spa is all massages and relaxation? There is nothing relaxing about owning a day spa, but we're here to help. Serious spa owners know that being in the spa business isn't for the weak. It takes hard work, planning, and just a bit of luck. We should know because we've owned a successful day spa for over 20 years. Now we're opening up our playbooks and giving you the business insights to run your day spa rather than letting it run you. This is a Spapreneur podcast with Lynn Graves and Ramona Rice.
Happy Halloween!
Oh, I like Halloween, but it's not my favorite time of year. Too much friggin' candy.
That's the best part of it.
No,
what is your
no.
See, this is why I don't drink. So
I'm in total sugar overload right now because I bought these damn bags of candy at Costco, and I said to myself, put them back. And then I saw an Almond Joy in there. I went, ooh, I'll open it for the Almond Joy. Well, the bag is gone now, okay? Just saying. The big bag is gone. So now I got to go buy another damn bag, but I'm not doing it till next week.
I think we need 2 bags, though. We ran out last year.
Well, I have one that's unopened up there. I refuse to open it.
Okay, good.
I refuse. Can I just say, I watched us the other day on our live thingy on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you and I were so funny. You were talking about strapping in the girls because you needed a bra to look good, and I had actually put on a sports top and all. But as I'm watching it, all I saw were these big globs of boobies, like at the front of the camera, and we were talking and swishing around, and they look like water balloons, 4 water balloons going back and forth, and our heads look tiny.
Well, I think it's just the way we have it set up. Yeah, again, the Facebook Lives, we're still learning, guys. I think you may think that we have all of our shit together. That's so not true.
No, it's not true at all.
Because, you should see me. I'm still using, so I invested into a very, not expensive, but a grown-up podcasting mixer, because I actually work for a podcast company and I have several podcast projects.
And it sits here like a dinosaur.
Because I don't know how to use it. I'm still using the USB.
So these are the beginning of horror stories that we have.
It is. And so we thought today would be fun. We've been hinting at some of these stories for a long time for the podcast, and we thought these would be really fun to do these today. Because also, in 21 years of business, there's no way not to have a horror story or two.
Yeah, but it seems to me like we've got some of the stranger ones out there. And we allude to some of these and talk about some of these. Some of these we've never even mentioned. But, these are some of our favorites that we have that are directly related to the otherworldliness out there.
Yeah, spooky. Okay, here we go. So the first story you came up with, we once had a ghost.
You talking about the real ghost that was over? Oh, God, yes. So when I started out, it was 1 room, as you all know. Then I expanded to 2 rooms. And I didn't have any problems. There was no eeriness, no nothing. But at one point, I finally took over the entire 1,000 square feet there and went all the way through to the back of the building. And we had a back door entrance. So we were kind of flipped around. And, no. I'm sorry. It was the other way around. We went from the back to the front. We had a front door entrance. And this is important for me to note this because we had some therapists that would work there like 7, 8 o'clock at night. And the one chick, Jeanette, she's really in tune with spiritual. I mean, she would lay out her hot stones up in the mountain, dance naked around them, get them all charged up. And, she was just really in tune with everything. But she came to me one day and she said, there are some creepy things going on here at night. I said, well, what are you talking about? She goes, I swear to you, there's a guy that's here at night, and it's just not right. And I went, Jeanette, what are you talking about? There are no people here. Your door is locked when you work on these clients. She said, no. She said, you don't understand. This is a ghost. She said, I can feel his presence. And I'm like, really? But I started noticing little things that I know should not have been that would change from the day before to the next morning, because I'm a morning person. I come in. It would be things like bathroom doors left wide open.
Right.
The wash machine would be like slightly tilted a different way. Towels would be completely moved from one shelf to another shelf. It's like, what the hell is Jeanette doing every night here? And so I brought it up to Jeanette, and she said, that's not me doing it. You're going to have to go talk to your ghost. Okay, all right, fine. So I'm still kind of passively doing this in my mind and thinking, the chick is crazy. But there was a light fixture that was over our front desk. And I started coming in every morning, and the grate, you know those fluorescent lightings, and then they have the grating on it?
Yeah, and
it would be open every day. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this thing? I get up on the ladder, I put it in. Now, guys, I'm mechanically inclined, so I know how to do this. I would fasten it in, it'd be nice and tight, and I get down. 3 days later, I'd walk in, damn grate's down again. It's like, what in the hell is going on? So after a while, I had hired this other massage therapist named Diane. Now, Diane was a little kooky. She was out there. She was just different than the rest of us, but in a very interesting, funny way. And we were traveling back from having skied in the mountains. And I said, Dupa, I got to go tinkle. So you're going to have to stop by the office because I can't hold it till we get all the way home. He stops by the office. I walk in and I look up, and obviously the lighting grate had just opened because it was still swinging back and forth and back and forth.
And there was no one there.
And I said, what in the hell? Well, no, Diane was there.
Oh.
About that time, she came walking up the hallway, and I said, Diane, what's going on with this light? Why is it open? She goes, I don't know, she said, but it was a terrible racket. It was like rattling and banging and banging and banging, and then it suddenly stopped. And I said, you got to be kidding me. I finally broke down and did a little bit of research on the area, thinking, okay, let me just go there with the thought that
let us open our minds.
Yeah,
and
maybe we have something that really is around there
auras.
That's just playing with us. So I looked it up, and come to find out that certain areas of the complex where we are were actually cemetery plots for some of the, I believe, revolutionary soldiers.
Yes, for Battle of Yorktown, yes.
And, it wasn't in every spot. At that time, they were just burying them as they lay. So I came to the theory that this guy was within reach of one of the rooms where we had finally opened up, and he just decided that he liked our spirit and wanted to hang out with us. Since we have moved from that site,
we've not had any of those problems.
No. All the problems are gone. I don't have lights coming down.
What if he misses us? Because we probably were very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I don't know who's over there now. I'll have to go over there and ask them if they're having the same problem.
We're nowhere near as fun as them. So, welcome to Halloween episode, folks.
Oh, God, yeah, it was interesting.
Oh, we have more. So, this one is called The Massage Therapist and the Shaman.
And we're going to try not to use her name because she is still a friend, even though she's one of my...
not a friend.
I love her. She's like a sister who pisses me off all the time.
I find that she's an aunt that I want nothing to do with.
Okay.
So, this is an extraordinarily educated,
and she is
massage therapist.
She's one of those khakis and polo shirts, professional kind of people.
Yeah, but her personal life is a hot mess. So she was a room renter for us for 2 years. When we moved to our new facility, we actually built the room for her so that we did like a little closet for her things. We actually reinforced the soundproofing because she specialized in neuromuscular and
which made everybody scream.
And I have since learned that you can get neuromuscular without screaming. So I judge whether or not she's the best or not. But so she, and she would pay. And here's the thing: she was one of those that could have used desk more because she really needed a front desk because her books were so busy, and she refused to use our scheduling system.
Oh my God, she talk about her. One of her biggest issues I didn't even know is control. Oh my God. She must maintain control of her life. Oh, it was insane, folks.
Right.
Insane.
And I'm just talking she wouldn't let us do confirmation calls for her. She wouldn't let us use our scheduling system. And then she blamed our scheduling system for things broken. I'm like, you don't use our scheduling system. Like, she just used Google Calendar, guys.
Her personal life was a hot mess. She was engaged to this awesome guy, who made a lot of money, who bought this humongous house next to the country club. And he was like the dream, but good looking, danced a lot. Oh my God, this guy was perfect. But she just wasn't so sure about him anymore. And they were living together, but she was in one bedroom, he was in another bedroom. Her life was so screwed up that it made any point in my life look perfectly fine.
Yeah. So just a hot mess. So towards the end, this is when Mom is with my grandmother as my grandmother is dying and being treated for cancer. So I'm at the day spa by myself with my stepfather. And the woman finally decided she was paying, at that time, $500 of room rent, which was such a steal.
Oh, God. I lost money huge.
We lost money so huge for that I finally, but then all of a sudden she decided to only pay $400. And I was like, excuse me? And she goes, well, because of I don't use your front desk anymore. I'm like, yeah, you do, because your clients get said hi and bye to by my front desk all the time, and regardless. So, she said this, and again, with my stepfather in the room, and I had the meeting with her, lied about so many things, and I just had enough, and I said, you need to leave. But she'll claim that she's decided to leave. Fine, I don't care. Get out.
And it took us months to get her out of there. Oh my God, she dragged it out. I'm moving. I'm getting there. I'm moving.
It finally took Rick saying, if you're not out by
this time, I was back.
Right. It finally took Rick saying, if you're not out by this point, you will be in financial penalty. Like, we will box your things up for you and put them on the street.
Yes.
We had to do that. So, once it was done, no one wanted to work in that room.
No, because all of her energy was still planted.
It was stale and awful and grumpy and mean and just things. Seriously, I don't think she's that good of a therapist, because I'm sorry, you can do the things that she does without causing harm.
Yeah, she has issues.
She has issues.
She has issues.
She has issues. I would never refer anybody to her. Anyway, so, I decide I'm bringing my shaman in. So I have a shaman. I met at the University of Virginia. She was one of my professors. I love the woman. Her name is Rachel Mann, and she's terrific, okay? And she studied Native American shamanism. I don't know where. I don't know how. I don't care, because it works.
I don't disbelieve, but to see my lily white child starting to embrace shamanism was the most bizarre, funny thing to me. And I'm not sure why, but Mona got all oogly googly over this stuff.
But so I decided the shaman's coming to de-stress, and we're cleaning the room. And so we did the 4 points ritual where we brought it, opened up the spirits, and then we chanted for a good 2 hours to get that bitch out of my room.
So this is what's going on the outside. Is Michelle, who's one of the most conservative we have there, she walks by the room and she hears this, and she comes to me and she says, what the hell is going on in that room? So we keep going by and listening. I'm like, holy shit. And then I'm laughing. And then they got me in there at one point because I had to poke my head in. And they wanted me to chant a little bit. And I chanted in a circle and then came back out laughing my ass off. It's not who I am, but it was just funny, folks. So funny.
So we did that, and then I did my own ritual with Rachel so that I was cleansed of the evil massage therapist horror person. Literally cannot stand the woman. And guess what? It is now one of our most popular rooms.
Oh, it is. I've repainted it. I've redecorated it, but it had some bad juju going on in there.
It had bad juju. So I don't care that people were laughing, because you know what? That is what I needed to get the woman out, because she was awful.
A strange little woman.
No, she was awful. Not the shaman. Shaman's great.
No, shaman was a strange little woman.
I agree, but she's a great woman.
We're describing this shaman to you, and you're probably picturing in your mind what she looks like. She's a little frail person, very
Caucasian, long brown hair,
kind of looks like a hippie.
Yeah,
a little bit of a throwback to the hippie era. No makeup.
Hippie. Yeah, but it worked. I don't know if it worked because I believe so much in it. I think that's a large part of it.
Yes, it is.
And honestly, I felt like I was finally taking back that room, because we had built this room for this woman, so we had never had the room before. We were reclaiming it as ours,
and it is definitely ours now. But I got to throw in a little side story on this. So this pain in the ass therapist of ours also had a lot of pain in the ass clients. And at the time when we moved in, you walked into our lobby and there were 2 doors beyond the bathroom that we kept closed to keep the sound out. The bathrooms were quasi open to the lobby. You would step around a corner, there were the bathrooms. She had this one client that for weeks would come in and take a big dump right before his massage would. Oh, I said the name. We'll bleep that
John,
out.
yeah, bleep that out, please.
Yeah. So he would take a big poo-poo, and it literally would clear out the lobby. It was so bad. So bad.
Why do clients wait to come to us? There's several that do that.
Well,
and it's always men. Do you have that, Spapreneurs? If you do, share your horror stories, because doesn't it seem like they wait to see you before they like, I'm about to get relaxed. Let everything go.
Oh my God. So, and his actual email name, I won't do the whole thing, but was Captain Compost. And I am like, my God.
That guy, I remember that guy. Yes.
Yes. So
he's the
finally,
poopery.
I was finally one day he had done that, and I walked down the hall, and I looked around, and there were a lobby full of people. I went, dear God, blah, blah, blah. What the hell crawled up in you? Woo!
Captain Compost,
Woo!
your powers
bad.
are so strong. And
and I left it at that. I got my point across to him, okay? His wife calls the next day. And she is very upset. I don't know. His wife calls the next day, and she's all upset that we embarrassed her husband. Well, don't take a shit in my place every week, okay? Go to your own every week.
You
every
have
week.
a bathroom at home.
Go poo-poo in your own bathroom. I get it once in a blue moon.
No. Here's why. I think she's upset because that's where she wanted him to do that.
Probably.
Poo-poo, and now she had to do it at home.
And then she took it further and said, and the last time I was there 3 months ago, your esthetician hurt me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my God, we have opened up a can of nasty composting worms now. He stopped poo-pooing though there.
Yes. he
And
did.
since then, I went and got really pretty doors that I ordered, and they're now on the side of the lobby where you have to open those doors to get to the bathroom. We're trying to contain the stink, folks.
Yeah, and we have a designated bathroom way in the back for
all the therapists. I don't know what it is about therapists poo-pooing all the time.
That's where I go if I need to go.
I mean, all the therapists like to come to the work and poo-poo.
But speaking of wives, that's not the only wife that has ever told us that we were mean to her husband. We had this one.
God.
We're not going to say their names, obviously.
We've alluded to this story before.
But we need to tell the full
Hell,
story.
I can't even think of the name
of
them.
I remember this.
I could look it up because I've got a file on them. So she would come in, and it started a few years ago, and for about 5 years straight, she would come in and say, the Wives Club at the base.
One of the bases. We have several around here.
That we're doing a drawing, and do you mind giving us gift certificates? Not at all.
Of course
I'm
not.
happy to.
We love
so
doing that.
I gave her 4. This went on every year. As soon as I would give her 4, she would buy a package. So then she would have a package. Now, this didn't start until I started giving them gift certificates. Okay, you're one of those. I can deal with that.
That's not a problem.
So she has her husband come in. And this guy, you talk about curmudgeon. It gives a whole new definition to the word curmudgeon. Mean, rude,
abusive,
just
abusive,
not nice,
and not in a sexual way. Just flat
mean,
out abusive to the point.
Mean. You know he's a miserable SOB. Yeah. He's got a lot of poo poo in him.
Like seriously, when I would work the front desk, I would purposely go. Time to get him in. It got to the point where he went through one therapist. She said, no, I want him off the table. Okay. Moved him to another therapist. Yep. He went through everybody.
You know, he finally ended up on. He ended up on Michelle's table, and she was able to handle it, but that's because she put him in his place.
Yeah. And she basically said, you will not act this way.
But this guy would come up front, he'd take his gift card, and he'd fling it at the front desk.
No,
and
thank you. No hi, nothing.
Just rude, okay? So
it got to the point though where he was so rude even to Michelle, and Michelle handles our curmudgeons because Michelle has a thing, and you really need to encourage and you as massage therapists and estheticians need to do this for your front desk staff. If you have clients that are rude to your front desk staff unnecessarily, you owe it to your front desk to put them in their place and say no. Michelle does that. If she sees that the front desk is being abused, she's like, you will not see me if you treat the front desk that way.
Yes.
So make sure you do that. And that's basically, it got to the point where she was like, you will not treat me this way. And he was like, I don't care. And so she's like, no, we had no more therapists that wanted to work on him.
So once again, the year came around, and the lady came in and very sweetly said, oh, by the way, our event's coming up, and can you give us some more gift certificates? Absolutely. I said, but I have a favor to ask of you. And I said it as sweetly as I could. I said,
because I was there when you did it.
Your husband comes in, I said, and he's just not nice. And her response was, oh God, I've told him he needs to be nicer, and that, he just gives this attitude like he's just so mean. I've talked to him about his anger. I said, well, we would really appreciate it if you would just be nice to the front desk. Just ask him.
And the therapist,
just to be nice. And she said, I will talk to him. Not a problem.
2 days later,
we are at lunch. And I have left my youngest daughter on the desk because we were having a small luncheon business-wise, and we were talking. Fortunately, we were at the end of the lunch, and I get this desperation call. Mom, there are 2 people here, and they want to talk to you right now, and they are standing in the doorway, and they're not going to leave until you get back. I said, and what's their name? And she said, Mr. and Mrs. blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I said, just put them in the office. I'll be right there. So I get in the office. Ramona, like a little cockroach, she goes off the other way.
I was in the office with you.
No, you
yes,
were not.
I was.
No, you went off and you left. You're like,
I was in the office. I just didn't say anything.
So at this time I had a really large office, and there's something about a power position. You go and you get behind your desk and you stand. And I looked at them and I said, what can I help you with? Well, I don't appreciate you telling my wife that I am a mean person, and I want to know who accused me of this. And
I can apologize to him, but he said it so angrily.
Yeah, and I said, excuse me, but it's every therapist you've worked on and my front desk staff. Well, I don't recall doing that at all. And I said, yes, you did. Well, I just don't like it, and I am no longer comfortable. And now the wife is chiming in about how she just felt like we were rude and that we shouldn't have done this. Now, mind you, I had just given her 4 gift certificates again for her charity. And she said, and I bought a package yesterday and I want my money back. And I said, nope. We do not give refunds. I said, you can take those gift certificates. I said, and you can, or your prepaid package, turn them into gift certificates and you can donate them. No, I want my money back. It's the law. You have to give it to me back. And I said, no, it is not. It's clearly stated. Well, I'm just going to have to get hold of my attorney on this. Well, folks,
please do so.
Yeah, I have some very, very powerful attorneys.
We have talked about this in episodes very early in the podcast. Part of your business team.
Yes.
Your attorney, get the best one.
One of my attorneys
we don't skip
used
on that
to
one.
be the 3rd most powerful man in Virginia. Don't screw with me. I said, I tell you what, you go talk to your attorneys. Aren't you cute? I said, and when you do, here's the name of my attorney, Alan Diamondstein. You have them call him. I knew they recognized the name. And they stomped out. Well, you can go somewhere on Yelp and find them bitching about all of this.
So that's what she did first. First, she did Yelp. And that's when we got introduced to Yelp. Hold on. Let's finish the Yelp thing first, because I can tell you're excited. She went on Yelp, and that's when we first discovered Yelp, and we were like, what the hell is this? So we flooded Yelp, and Yelp still has never taken it down. I refuse.
Nope. And then she did a chargeback on her credit card.
So this is a great lesson to talk about chargebacks on credit cards. Let's explain what chargeback is.
Okay, chargeback is somebody has paid money to you on their credit card, and then they get their statement and they say, no, this is a bogus charge, and they call the credit card company and they dispute it. So it's a disputed charge. So what the credit card company does, they reach back out to the vendor, being us, and on this particular group, they would not give us the name. They only gave us the transaction number, the date, and the amount. Well, the moment I got it, I knew who the hell it was.
Right.
So I keep all the receipts for a year.
This is really important. You must keep all the little slips, or if you
at
have
least keep them
electronic,
for a year.
you have to keep them because
I just shove them into an envelope because
and we do
thermal.
and we do it by month.
Yes.
Yeah. So we staple them that day together.
Yep.
And this is something I got from Bath and Body Works. The standard of operations. We staple them together that day. We put them in a month envelope. We labeled the month after it's done, and then we put it in a file because we had to go back in.
Yes, and I've had to do this several times. So I pulled out that charge and I went, you guys are stupid. So I called my merchandise company, the people who actually oversee my credit card machine, the processing. And those are my advocates. Those are your advocates. And I called them and I said, this charge came up and now it's being disputed. I said, let me explain the scenario. And I explained the whole thing to her. And I said, clearly stated on all of our sites is no refunds. And she said, no problem. I will reverse this problem. And she did. So we got the money and they got screwed. And thankfully, we've never had to see them again because.
Yeah, no, I mean, they've done a few
what
things.
A jerk.
Like, again, there's been, after it happened, there was a few more times, like, oh, I would never go there again. And I think they were still on our email list. And so they kept emailing us back. And we finally said, well, unsubscribe. Here, we'll do it for you. And that sort of thing. But here's the bottom line.
Nasty
it could have been a
people.
horror story because we could have been out of the money. They could have done a reputation. But this is why, number one, we got.
Mean.
It was her that got us super serious about our testimonials. It was
a
her.
mean zombie.
It was her that really got me super focused on testimonials. And I was like, we are not doing this anymore. We will have so many testimonials that are so great because we get compliments that I ain't dealing with this crazy psycho person anymore. I will never let my business be hostage to one awful customer. That is why you must, it's your best defense, get those testimonials. And if you don't know how to do it, we talk about it in our ultimate email course. We have an entire module on how we get those testimonials. Guys, it's worth it. The price is going to go up very soon. Right now it's $350. It will be going up very soon. So I would highly suggest go to spapreneur.com and get it now.
So, yeah. And we've had a few other clients like that, but they stick in the mind because they were so entitled and
he was old white man. He must really be. They probably voted for anyway. But you know what I mean? Like they're seriously. Curmudgeon to the
I like
nth
my
degree.
curmudgeons, but
I don't mind a curmudgeon.
Yeah, he took it to a whole new level.
No, abusive curmudgeon's never allowed. Okay. The one story we have been dying to tell you. This is our last one. Because we can't give you all the horror stories. We got to keep some.
Yeah.
But this one takes the cake because.
Right, and let me point out, in this one, this was quite a few years ago, and we were in the old suite.
This is before we even did online gift ship sales.
Yeah. This was one way in, one way out. So you could not get out of our place without going through the front door. And we had the reception stand there right at the front. My office was directly behind
This is when I was still in massage school. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'll let Mona start the story.
So I got a call. I was working the front desk, and I got a call from a guy in Chicago. He said, I found your website. We were one of the first massage places to have a website. And this was back in 2002. It was probably the worst website ever, but it was a website. He found us. He goes, I really want to buy my mother a gift certificate. Can I pay for it over the phone? Sure, no problem. And can you send it to her? Yeah, no problem. Because we really didn't do it that often. So I got the address, and he bought her a massage and a facial.
It was just a massage.
Oh, it's just a massage. Yeah, because that's
just a massage.
Just a massage. And I said, sure, I'll send it to her, no problem. Because I remember this. He lived in Chicago. I remember this. Well, she comes in after Mother's Day. This is for Mother's Day. She comes in after Mother's Day, and she starts like, well, I got this for my gift for my son who's in Chicago. I'm like, oh, I remember. He was so nice. And I'm thinking, this is going to be great. No. This is not great.
So Ramona's talking to her. She said, well, what can I do with this? And Mona said, well, you can get a massage. No.
I don't want a massage.
I don't want a massage. That's just not something I do. Not. So we said, well, there are other things. You can get a pedicure or a reflexology.
Well, we had basic pedicures then.
Yes, just very basic. Or you could get reflexology. Now my little flighty, hippie girl, earthy Julene comes to the front, and she's all sweetness, and she's trying to save the day. And she says, oh, well, you could get a reflexology, and it's just the feet, and it would be so good. And she's talking over the woman, so she's not giving the woman a chance. And she says to Michelle, come here. Can you talk to this woman about reflexology? And Michelle walks up. She has to pass the bathroom because the bathroom's right next to the reception desk.
And Mom's in the office.
Yes, and I'm sort of listening to all of this. And she says, hi, I'm Michelle. I understand you'd like to know about reflexology.
And the woman, okay, if this were,
if
we could do a reenactment of this, I was telling Mom this yesterday when we were playing this episode. If we could do a reenactment of this would be like her head would legitimately like spin around, like The Exorcist, and like a new face came out, and the demon upon demons comes out, and she said without any hesitation, reflexology and massage is the devil work.
That's just devil. And I am a Christian. And I do not do that stuff. I don't believe in that stuff. And how dare y'all try to get me to do this?
Okay, so Michelle immediately goes, no problem, turns around and goes to the back.
She just walks away.
Julene is blocking me where I am in the desk, so I can't leave. I'm stuck. And then Mom comes out because Mom, and this is still back, still before I think you were as open-minded as you are now about religion and things like that. You were very, very still...
Well, I still am, but I don't appreciate any Christian walking in there and telling me what I've been doing for years is of the devil. Well, no, it's not.
Jesus washed feet too, guys.
Oh my God. So
that's what we should have told her.
I stood up and got my authoritative pose going on, and I said, ma'am, can I help you? Well, I got this gift certificate and I don't want it, and I want my money back because I just don't want this. Notice she said the words, I want my money back. I'm not going to use this, and I just don't believe in all of this stuff. This is just of the devil, and I'm a good Christian woman, and I don't do all this. She goes on and on and on, ranting. The hair on my arm. Now, over this whole time, I'm telling her, ma'am, we don't give refunds. Take it and give it to somebody else. I am not going to do that. This is money, and you should give this back to me. The woman is truly evil at this point. The hair on my arms stood up. And I looked at her after a moment and I said,
jumping.
Ma'am. Did I?
Yeah, you were jumping at this point.
Yeah, I if I get in angst enough, I start bouncing up and down. I said, let me do something for you. I said, stand right here. And I went to my office. I got that money and I slapped it on the counter. I said, here is your money, because I refuse to let you go into any one of my rooms with my therapist and give them that kind of behavior. You are an evil woman and we don't want you. No. We don't want you. And she snatched it up and she marched her little ass right on out. Evil. I'm telling you, the woman was evil. Marched on out. And all of a sudden, the bathroom door opened up. And this client looks around the corner and says, is the coast clear? Is she gone yet?
The lady was so loud about how we were all devil worshippers. I mean, she would say things like, y'all are devil worshippers, y'all are going to hell, y'all are...
God, it was everything.
This is just anything that she could spew out. This is how...
I was tempted to lay hands on her and pray. And my Pentecostal days and start praying in tongues and say, baby cakes, I got
Demon,
you.
Be gone.
I'll slay you in the
power
spirit.
Of Christ compels you.
You slayed, woman.
I don't even think Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad could have helped her.
God. But that client hiding in the bathroom, we didn't even know it the whole time, going, is she gone? Is the coast clear here?
We did go ahead and give that client in the bathroom a little bit of discount. Yeah.
It was after that I discovered that the gift certificate came from her son in Chicago. Yeah. And I'm like, shit. If I'd known that, I would have said, I'll be glad to refund that money.
I tried to tell you, but you were so focused.
Because I was like, I would have sent that money back to him.
Yeah.
Because that's where it rightfully belonged. I was so pissed off.
And it wasn't that much money. It was just the principle of, you were crazy. Like, I really think, honestly, either A, she needed the money for something else.
She was crazy.
Or she was just insane.
She was crazy.
It shows why her son may have moved to Chicago.
I would have moved too. I mean, my mother was crazy and I moved away from her, but she wasn't that batshit crazy.
No, she never called anybody industrial workers.
I don't know. Occasionally she did. She didn't even believe in Christ. So,
oh gosh.
God. Anyway, we hope we've entertained you some with some of these stories, and we, believe it or not, we still have more.
I have a theory. When people and here's the thing: none of these stories happen while people take off their clothes.
No, they were all dressed.
Oh, they were dressed. I have a saying that people take off their clothes and they lose their minds, and this is true.
These people had their clothes on.
I mean, people are fun. So if you're in this business, the most important thing is, yes, you will have these kind of things. And yes, Mom was very traumatized. How much wine did you drink that night?
Oh, I don't even remember. I was so pissed off at her.
Yeah.
And I was pissed because she was going to take that energy into one of the rooms with my girls. And I'm very protective of my girls. Yeah. They may piss me off and they may rattle me and I might get annoyed. But those are my babies. You don't fuck with my babies.
Yeah. No. So, yeah.
See, that got my F-bomb going.
You did get your F-bomb going, but it's worthy of an F-bomb. So anyway, if you have your own Halloween horror story with your business, we would love to hear about it. So here's how you can do it. Go to the Spapreneur community page on Facebook. You can look it up very easily, or we've got links for it on our website, spapreneur.com. And there you can see the post for this thread. We're going to have a whole graphic that says Halloween spooky stories, and we would love to hear some of yours. And if you really wanted to, you could record yourself, and we might play it on air someday. We have that technology now, because we have. Let me give a shout out to John from Audio Editing Solutions. My God, that man! I love him so much. He edits all my podcasts, including Tiny Potters. This one,
after he pees on himself from laughing at us.
I think he's fun. So he does it where, like, for us with this podcast, he says basically, I just let you guys just roll. So I don't really have to do too much. So other than we need you to beep that one lady's name, because.
Yeah, I don't. It's not
nice. Worth it. It's not nice, and just
even if it was true,
but it was all true. So yeah. So if you ever have an audio editing, if you're going to start a podcast, or if you know someone's starting a podcast, don't edit it yourself. Use a professional, and that's John Bukenas from Audio Editing Solutions. I cannot say enough nice things about him.
So maybe after Christmas, we can come up with some fun Valentine's stories.
You know what we should do? Because
boom boom.
Oh yeah. There should be no boom boom in the couples room. There should be no boom boom in the couples room. But we have some fun ones too. Like we
won't mention that you had one of your first dates with Mystery Nerd there at the.
I did.
No, save that story.
No. But I will say it was way after hours.
Oh God, I don't want to know. Ooh.
Anyway, so go to the Spapreneur Facebook group. And again, if you guys are wanting to make sure that you shore yourself up against bad testimonials, email honestly is the way to do it. We have the plan. It works for us. Ceci, our email plan, what does it do for our business?
It makes it grow. Makes it easy. We just send stuff out. I mean, I don't have to think about it. I press a button. It all goes out.
It all goes out. So we teach you how to do that. This ultimate email course right now is $350. It is going up by the end of November. So you don't want to wait. Now's the time to invest in it. You need tax write-offs anyway, and it will be a business expense. Yep. So get that now. It's a do-it-yourself pace. We go over everything, how to set up the email, how to.
And I can tell you honestly, I could not have done it. So Mona had to do it. It's just not my strength.
Right. But because I literally guide you from baby step of how you get an email service provider all the way to what to write, including you get our book of the actual emails that I have written for de-stress.
Yeah. I mean, they're awesome.
Yeah. So that compel customers and clients to get their butts back in your day spa. Do that now because the price is going up. You don't want to waste. It's worth everything.
That's another horror story.
What, price is going up?
Yes.
Horror
story.
We'll see you guys later. Happy Halloween!
Bye.
Need more actionable steps to get your spa headed in the right direction? Head to spapreneur.com where we've got the tools, tricks, and methods to making your spa as successful as it can be. Spapreneur.com.